What's up to all my movie heads, my movie fan base out there? The movie man is back in full effect. And I have a special treat for you today. Something that I always want to do, something I always want to review. And I've seen this movie, about, I don't know, 50 times already. But this is one of the first times I've seen it in 4K. And I seen it in 4K about 2 months ago. I was caught up in a lot of other things, so I couldn't do the review. But this review is where martial arts all came from. The biggest martial arts film of movie history. I think you know what it is. This is Enter the Dragon 4K review here on Constantine Jr. Enter the Dragon. Enter the Dragon is claimed to be one of the best martial arts movie of all time. Now, I don't agree with that, but it came out in 1973, and because of that movie, Bruce Lee was cemented as action hero legend. It's legendary. Let me give you the full synopsis before I break down the movie, because every movie review I do, I kind of like to break things down into the characters and where they come from and where they're at right now. Enter the Dragon came out in 1973. It's about a Shaolin monk played by Bruce Lee who's recruited by the British intelligence to infiltrate the crime lord's island, and he's supposed to gather evidence. And basically, he's covered as a spy, but he's going to enter a kung fu tournament, and he's going against a crime lord named Han. And he's a former monk from the same temple as Lee. So they both have the same, senseis and everything. And he also seeks revenge after hearing that Han's men were responsible for Bruce Lee's sister's, his character's death. She didn't, I don't want to give the film away, but in the film, they were trying to rape her. And basically, instead of they trying to do it, she took a shard of a glass and killed herself, basically. I hope I didn't give too much away, because usually I don't want to do this kind of giveaway in movies. Most people have seen this film, but as I said before, some Gen Zers have probably not. And there's a few Gen Xers who have not seen this film. I don't like to give spoilers away, so this is a spoiler-free review. The film stars Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly, who literally was one of the first black martial artists. This is before Wesley Snipes, before anybody I've seen that has a resemblance of, and he knew, what was it? He knew martial art, guys. This guy was not a fake person. They put a real black belt in there. He's a black belt. He actually had a movie called Black Belt Jones and the Black Samurai. And in 1981, I think, he did the movie Three the Hard Way with Fred Williamson and Jim Brown. At that time, they were considered black action heroes too. His whole real name is James Milton Kelly. He was born on May 5th, 1946. And he died June 29th, 2013. Okay? He died of cancer. But he lived such a great life. He was an American athlete. He was, again, a real martial artist. He won over several karate championships. That's how Kelly rose to fame back in the 70s. He won over several martial art championships. So he wasn't no fake, like I said before. Does this man look familiar? He should. He was a father in Nightmare on Elm Street, the horror series with Wes Craven. And his career spans over 60 years. He's John Saxon, an American actor who done almost everything. The last time I've seen this guy, he was in Beverly Hills Cop 3 with Eddie Murphy, and he was a bad guy. So yeah, he spanned over 60 years, guys, and his character in Enter the Dragon is cemented in movie history. He was born August 5th, 1936, and he died July 25th, 2020. So it was a couple years ago he died. He died of pneumonia. So, and also, update on Jim Kelly, he also died of cancer, if I haven't mentioned it before. I don't remember, I think I did, but even if I did, let me mention it again. Jim Kelly died of cancer, John Saxon died of pneumonia. Next up is Bolo Young, or Bolo Young. I can't pronounce his last name, Young. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm gonna call him Bolo. Bolo, began, this guy was one of the best bad guys I've seen. The picture on your left shows that he was in Bloodsport, and he was on a couple of Van Damme movies like Double Impact. He's basically called the Chinese Hercules. That's right, Chinese Hercules, a Bolo Young story. Young began his martial arts career at the age of 10, literally at 10 years old. Now, figure at 10 years old, but he trained under several Kung Fu masters. And growing up, he took interest in bodybuilding. So that made him even more dangerous, guys. And later on, he was given the title of Mr. Hong Kong, a bodybuilding champion. And he actually held the title for 10 years. 10 years. I don't think nobody can compete with this dude. I know everyone knows him as a bad guy in all the American movies, but in Hong Kong movies, he was actually known as a good guy. And Enter the Dragon was basically one of his first feature films. Bruce Lee even praised Bolo Young for being, a very powerful fighter because he was a powerful lifter. Lee said that if he kicks him, he would easily, literally beat him. So if Young kicked Lee, it was over for Lee. Lee actually respected him enough to state that Bolo Young was well, I don't say better than him, but literally because he lifted weights. And his, he trained under several martial arts masters that he was type unstoppable. At this time, I think he was a little younger, but in this film, I think Young even said that he was trained, but he was still training. So in some aspects, Lee was still higher ranked than him, and he couldn't give Lee the fight that he really wanted, and Lee had an edge in the fight. Other than his bodybuilding, Young even said that Lee could easily someone beat him. And as you can see, these two characters, these two men in real life was really humble, because they both trained at a young age of 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old, and they basically literally could destroy each other. But basically, they're too humble and saying, "Hey, the other one could beat me." And I actually respect it. I respect that. But in my opinion, and me looking at Young versus Lee, yeah, I hate to say it, but I'm gonna give this to Young. As they said, he's not really that experienced. In this picture, as we see, he's actually said he wasn't that experienced. So I will give Young, if Young got in close to Bruce Lee, yeah, he could get him. But Bruce Lee was trained in almost everything. So yeah. But I still give it to Young now. If Bruce Lee was alive in the 80s, I think Bolo Young could have took him. quick side note, Bolo Young is still one of the few actors who was alive in Enter the Dragon. He was born on July 3rd, 1946, and he is now the age of 77 years old. Yep. The actor who played the bad guy in Enter the Dragon, which is played by this man named Han, his real name is Sheik Wing Chung. And he was born January in 1913 and died June 2009. So he had a span over a great career, and he was named the oldest Hong Kong living actor since 2009. And he did a lot of television. He basically he won the Golden Raya Awards in it's a lifetime achievement award that's given in Hong Kong in 2003. And so basically, he died of kidney failure. And again, he was the oldest living successful actress in Hong Kong history. So there you go. Bruce Lee actually wrote and produced Enter the Dragon. He also choreographed all the fight sequences, and he wanted quality and realism. He always said that was paramount in every film he ever did. And believe me, it was real. A few stuntmen got hurt in this film. One of the stuntmen that got his actually nose broken was Jackie Chan. That's right, Jackie Chan. And Bruce Lee went to the hospital and visited him. Jackie Chan recounts that he took his time out and to come visit him after they were still filming Enter the Dragon. He couldn't come back in the set because Jackie Chan was really hurt. And that's one of his first bones he broke was his nose. So you knew Jackie Chan was about that life. Bruce Lee took time out and to visit him in the hospital. So it shows you what a quality character Bruce Lee he really was. Before Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee teamed up with the Shaw Brothers in 1971. And his first real hit film was in his native land, Hong Kong, The Big Boss. Then he did Fist of Fury. Then he did Way of the Dragon in 1972. 1973, he also did, I think, a kind of short film. This was called The First of a Unicorn. I've never seen it. Actually, this is one of the first times I've ever heard of it. And in 1973, his big come out to America hit, Enter the Dragon. But back in America, in the 60s, he did a TV show called The Green Hornet. And he wasn't respected on that show. He was somewhat underpaid. That's when he opened up his karate studios. And as I said before, if you really want to know about Bruce Lee and the whole story of the movie, of course, I have a lot of books written, but me, I remember watching a movie with Jason Scott Lee called Dragon, and it's one of the best depictions of his life. And I know, a lot of other films have came out about Bruce Lee and his life, but if you want to know his whole life, please rent or buy, probably rent, Dragon with Jason Scott Lee. It is a great, and I kid you not, one of the greatest autobiopics I've seen in a while. This is a scene in the movie where he's doing a tournament, and he's actually facing another martial arts legend, soon in the making, the one on the floor, Sammo Hung. And everyone knows Sammo Hung. He's a fat dude, but he's done so much karate films. I'm a fan of him too. He started along one of the greatest action heroes I've seen in martial arts history. I'm going to say Jackie Chan. Sammo Hung actually said and stated later years that this scene with him and Bruce Lee wasn't playing. He brought it to Sammo Hung, and Sammo Hung basically had to tap out a couple of times, and director Robert Klaus had to tell Bruce Lee, hey, look, this is a movie, and you need to fall back on the realism. But as you can see, he's not listening because that's what Bruce Lee brought to the audience. He brought realism, guys. Unfortunately for Bruce Lee, he would never see this movie be released. And he was experiencing headaches and seizures and even collapsed on this film while working on Enter the Dragon. 2 months before his death in 1973, he was rushed to the hospital where doctors actually diagnosed him with cerebral edema, and he was discharged 7 days later. I don't know if they didn't know about, the edema part, or he had a rare blood disorder, but personally, I would not have discharged him, but that would be the downfall, because after that, he didn't get up from his bed and he died in his sleep. They said he died in his bed, but I didn't even know that he was diagnosed with rare blood disorder, and it's sad. It's very sad that his life has come to some abrupt end where he didn't see success with this movie. He was born in 1940 on November 27th, and he died in 1973 on July 20th. Enter the Dragon, again, I've said this a couple of times, and let me reiterate it over and over and over again. If you have not seen this film, where the hell have you been? Enter the Dragon is still called one of the greatest martial arts films of all time. And it's so copied, it's so everything. Again, guys, I didn't go into the whole story and synopsis to a degree. Other than his character and other characters, I think that you will have a fun time watching this and to piece together the film yourself. It's very easy for me to divulge the whole movie. I could have done that in 5 minutes. But one of my movie reviews, and why I do these kind of movie reviews, is to give you the synopsis of the background of the players of the movie and their real life status, where they live, where they died, where they grew up. Again, I will probably do this on my channel and just give a whole history about certain action heroes that I grew up on. I probably may have that as a new feature. When my channel grows a little bit bigger, I will definitely have that. But as for now, I'll give this movie a 9 out of 10. And just because it's a great action film, the storyline is thin, but I don't care about the storyline. Never did. Enter the Dragon, my movie pick for my movie heads and my movie fan base out there. The Movie Man is out.